Ange, we didn't see Sonny at training this morning. Is he okay? Is there any other injury news?
No, the one's missing today. Sonny was a bit sore after the weekend. He was never going to be involved tomorrow anyway because he missed a bit. So we're just leaving him out of tomorrow and see how he is from there. Jed, Spence trained individually today. Everyone else was out there.
Troy Parrott's coming back to Spurs, having only left permanently in the summer. He was here for 7 years, only played a handful of games and none under you. How do you reflect on his time here? And did he get a proper chance?
Yeah, look, I think it's good to see Troy doing well. I think he had a great loan spell last year in the Dutch league, and he's looking like he started his AZ career in positive fashion too. So it's great. In terms of getting a chance, that's sometimes football's just about timing. We've got a striker here, mate, that was at Chelsea and Liverpool early in his career. He's done all right since. So I think there's a pathway forward for everybody.
Hi, Ange, how are you?
I'm good, mate.
As you already said there, Sonny was bruised a little bit after the weekend. It was quite a feisty game, certainly in the second half, quite a battering game. Spurs have been fined today for their players not being controlled in the melee, which led to, after Kudus was sent off. Just in general, sum up for us whether that was what you'd like to see in terms of your side or what you expect to see from your side.
I don't know if that's an accurate description of what I saw. I mean, there was obviously that sort of incident with Kudus, and apart from that, I don't think it was that feisty a game. I don't think there was too many cards outside. I'm not really sure what we did wrong, apart from, there was a coming together. But I mean, I think, a couple of our players had hit the deck by then, so you'd like to think that we'd go in there and at least protect. I thought our players controlled themselves, but obviously, the FA felt differently. But I didn't feel there was anything edgy in that game at all. Just a player maybe lost his composure for a second, Kudus, which I think is not really like him anyway, from what I've seen him as a player, but it happens. And for the most part, I thought there was a fair bit of restraint there. If there was anything more, there's plenty of video evidence to charge players with. So, but I guess the look of it's not great, but I don't think it was anything untoward.
And in this competition, made a great start so far. In terms of that, I mean, are your team maybe a well-set European team? In terms of Premier League is very different to European football.
Yeah, look, we've started the competition really well so far. Different challenges in both games. Obviously, the first game at home, we had a player sent off in the first few minutes, which provided its own unique challenge for us. And then whenever you play away in Europe, like we did in the last game, at Ferencváros, again a different challenge. We've exposed especially some of our younger players to European football, which I think is a positive, and you see growth from that, and we want to continue that. Again, a good challenge tomorrow. AZ, good side. And from our perspective, particularly here at home, a good opportunity for us to continue our form.
Hi, Ange. I've noticed you're taking a lot more short corners this season. I think it's around 38% at the moment. Just wanted to know what the thinking was behind that.
Same as anything else, mate. We think it's an effective way to kind of look at set pieces. Nothing too scientific. I think it sort of falls in line with our game plan of trying to control those kind of situations. Fair to say on the weekend, especially first half, our set pieces were really poor. We were all disappointed with them, more around the delivery than anything else, because if you don't get the delivery right, it's not great. But when you have I think we had 12 corners in a half of football, shows how dominant you are, but we didn't really use them to any effect. So, something we need to improve on.
Hi, Ange. With Richarlison just returning to fitness, is he in a position to start tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Richie got through the weekend really well. He's trained. It's almost the second week of training now, and he's ready to go in terms of being available for sure.
Wilson Odebear as well. He's back in training. Chance of him getting some game time tomorrow?
Yeah, potentially. Again, we're just got to be a bit more careful with him because obviously he's missed a lot and he's only had sort of this week of training. But we'll be involved tomorrow in the squad. Game time will be a little bit game dependent, I think, with him. But good to get him back, and certainly, after this week, should be fully available.
Thanks, Ange.
Thanks, mate.
Question in ESPN Netherlands. How many questions did you ask Mickey van der Ven about AZ, or did you already know everything about AZ?
I think I know more about Dutch football than Mickey van der Ven. He was in Germany. He was at... No, look, I know AZ really well. I know Dutch football really well. Australia's always had a strong connection with Dutch football. Yeah, so I've always followed it very closely. And AZ, we played AZ when I was at Celtic in the Europa League a couple of years back. So always a good side, really good at identifying young talent. There's also a bit of a Japanese connection there because I followed them closely. I mean, when we played them last time, Sugiwara was there. Now he's in the Premier League, and we've got Maikano there now. So I've always followed Dutch football and AZ, so we know the information we need.
Neil.
Sorry. So you follow Dutch football a lot. Are you surprised that Mickey, he was born in the region of Alkmaar, has never played at AZ? And the second question is, how do you look at his developments at the national Dutch team, and do you talk with him about that?
Yeah, look, with Mickey, fair to say he kind of developed late, but very quickly, because I think even at Volendam there was a period they were unsure about him, but you could tell once physically he grew and the kind of player he was, his journey went very quickly. Obviously, Volendam, and then the year he had in the Bundesliga, he adjusted really well. And then I thought for us last year he was outstanding for his first year in the Premier League. And obviously he had an injury which kind of set him back a little bit. But he's growing all the time. He's maturing. I think he'll become more of an influence at national team level. He's now. He's played a couple of games at left back, at left centre back. So, and I think for him, the more he plays with the national team, I think it'll give him even more belief. But he's going very well, and I'm sure he'll be important. He'll definitely be an important member for our team, but also for the Dutch national team.
Ange, how much is your personal footballing philosophy being influenced by Dutch football? Thinking back to days of total football back in the 70s, and what do you like best about it?
Yeah, no, great influence. I kind of, the whole sort of total football era was kind of when I first, sort of fell in love with the game, and 74 World Cup, probably the pinnacle of total football, was also Australia's first time in a World Cup, mate. So at 2 a.m. I was up watching a grainy black and white TV, and fascinated by the way the Dutch went about their football. Johan Cruyff, I think, was a genius in many respects, not just as a footballer, but as a football thinker. Great influence. And then that sort of filtered into Australian football. We've had Gus Hiddink, took us to the next World Cup, and many Dutch coaches who have come through there. So, it's been a strong influence in a lot of sort of my thinking. People talk about my high line, but watch the Dutch in 74 and you'll see something even more radical than me. So I've got a bit of a way to go.
Slot and the job he's done, Lee. 10 wins in 11. Merce made the point last night that some managers might have come in and wanted to make their mark, stamp their authority on the team, shake it up a bit. He's not done that. What does that say about the character? And I guess as well, the recruitment by Liverpool, that they've spotted this guy and thought, that transition will be smooth with him at the helm.
Well, it had to be right, didn't it, Jules? And that's the thing. I think they didn't, plunge in to try and, just pick some. They've hand-picked, haven't they? And, you do feel that they have got the right man up to now. I think the fixtures have really suited him straight away. Did he have to change a lot? I don't think he really did. And that's why he hasn't. I think, if anything, they've been more solid defensively. I think after the Forest defeat, where they quite easily could have won the game, that could have been a success of a 100% win rate. So what he's done, he's come in and he hasn't had to change a lot. I think he will tweak things along the way as he can do. I think he's got a fantastic squad of players there. There's no doubt. Salah's been absolutely brilliant so far this season. Again, I think, the only thing I'm looking at the moment is this contract talks of Van Dijk and the players that are out of contract, Salah, you know, I think if you can get that resolved and get that sort of boxed off, I think then they can start thinking ahead of where they're going to be actually going and what they're actually doing, because at the moment they're sitting in a fantastic position in the league. I think with key games coming up, Arsenal got three massive games coming up. Are they going to be the one that's going to push Man City this season? Quite possibly. I mean, for the start he's had and the way he's gone about it, people are liking what he's doing, and it looks like he's enjoying himself anyway. So I think, you know, it's all about keeping that momentum flowing, and I think they'll be there or thereabouts, won't they? I think they could be the side that could possibly push City this season.
And Tim, on those three out-of-contract players in the summer, Van Dijk, Salah and Alexander-Arnold, is it any coincidence that Van Dijk is now speaking about possibly signing a new contract when they've won 10 out of their first 11 games under their new manager?
That helps. You know, you're talking about three top-draw players there who want to win trophies. You know, they don't want to sit there and challenge for Champions League positions. They want to be winning stuff, so it helps. Can only help. I think with Trent, I think he's gone. I think when once Real Madrid come knocking for you, he's won everything at the football club. He's been a magnificent servant, but there's no chance they're keeping him now, I wouldn't suggest. Van Dijk and Mo Salah, I think it's completely different. I'm not sure where they're going to go better than Liverpool Football Club.
If Van Dijk signs first, Joby, does it make it more likely that Salah and maybe Alexander-Arnold follow suit?
Yeah, I think it'll be a huge statement of intent in terms of where the club is. I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the summer, Jules. I think you speak to a lot of Liverpool fans. You know, a manager coming in having to replace an absolute icon, you know, in terms of what he's done at that football club, revered not just by players but the whole city, really. And I think what you see now is someone who potentially could take that on, and he'll obviously want those senior players to help, particularly for the next couple of years, really get them on that way. So I think obviously getting Van Dijk down will be a massive statement of intent. I think it does sort of reverberate around the changing room as well. Some of the other players, right, let's stay in. You know, he believes in the manager. Trent, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he is gone. I've got to be honest. I think that sort of connection that he has with the football club. And again, it comes down to, are they going to be challenging for that Premier League? Can they go deep in the Champions League? I think if they can do that, then they've got every chance of keeping all three.